Oscar Light Radio, you share the stories of incredible people, warriors, family members, Gold Star, spouses, patriots, nonprofits that are doing incredible work for our veterans. And I, I had to tell you, there are some absolutely amazing stories that I'm listening to from your show. Stories about people, veterans who have started nonprofits and are helping other veterans. The first was first female fighter pilot. I mean, the list goes on and on. But maybe you can tell me a few things that maybe you've learned along the way. A couple of surprises, maybe things that have stuck with you.
Sure, absolutely. I'm going to go back a little ways. Last year, I got in contact with a Navy veteran, a commander. She served in Afghanistan, and she's like, "Hey, I have this book thing I'm doing, and I want you to kind of check it out and tell me what you think." I'm like, "Okay, I've written before, Aaron, but not really like writing, you know." And I went and checked it out. There were like 12 other female veterans in the room. I'm like, okay, I'm the only dude here. And, you know, they were writing this anthology about their military experience. And, you know, I learned a whole lot from that. And then toward the end, they did a switcheroo on me. They're like, "Hey, we'd like you to write with us." I'm like, wait a minute. How did we go from just show up and check it out to go writing with them? And they're like, "Well, we think that, you know, you could add some value and we'd like to see what you could do." And I started down this path to writing, and you know, it's different from what we're doing right now, but it's still a lot of the same processes, if you will. But I had to learn how to sit there and think about what I'm going to put on the paper, how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to organize my thoughts, and more importantly, how I'm going to get somebody to feel what I'm trying to tell them on paper. Because, you know, with our voices, we can use tone and speed and this and that to get a feeling right. But it's just you, the keyboard, and, you know, letters on a screen. And I really enjoyed it and learned a different part of myself. Well, what happened out of there, right, is I got to, you know, do some other writing projects. And I had done one in 2020 with Buzz Bryan and Nick Bennis, you know, for their project Resilient Warrior. Maybe we'll talk about that here in a minute. But it's just been an amazing time to do that. The other thing that I learned this year is I've learned to stay true to my purpose. And people ask me, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? I said, no, I want to know at the end of my time doing this that I made a positive impact in one person's life. Sure, would I love to have huge numbers and, you know, sponsorships and all that? Yeah, sure, great. But I found that sticking to my purpose, which is that person in front of me, you know, that subject in front of me when I'm talking with them on my show and letting them tell their story, is still the best way to go. And then, you know, to wrap it up, it's just been a year where I've had to learn. I've had to learn from guests. I've had to learn different technology with AI stuff. AI has helped me out a little bit, and some different things I'm trying to do. So yeah, you got to be humble. You got to be coachable. You got to be able to take some criticism, and that all helps you grow.
And so you started this 7 years ago. Let's back up a little bit. And you of course, we mentioned earlier, you're Marine, spent a few years active duty. I think as a radar operator.
I was a radar operator for the Hawk missile system.
Okay. And I think you did about 4 years, got out, and then where'd you go from there?
So I got hurt and got separated medically, and then I moved to the Boston area and, you know, started a family, and now I work for a firm in Boston doing technology stuff. And, you know, it was very hard for me. I think, Aaron, it was harder for me than I admitted at the time. I didn't realize what going from the Marine Corps and people I still talk to today, years later, and moving to a very different place with no friends or family around me did for me.